Welcome back to English 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Advanced. All right, welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Advanced Class number 166. Yeah, 166. We've got a new sound table, I guess we call it here, and so checking things out. Hopefully you hear me loud and clear, sounding good out there, sounding good in the headphones that I'm wearing. Perfect. So here we go with Class 166. As always, we will get started with a little review of yesterday's class, yesterday's material. The structure we saw yesterday, really an expression to work your socks off. To work one's socks off. Now, this means to work hard, to work your socks off. You're working so hard that for some reason tus calcetines se quitan. Your socks come off. You're working your socks off. And that's something we've been doing, really, I think, in this course, this Baugan Inglés 4.0 course. We've all been working our socks off. The people on TV, the crew there, they've been working their socks off. I've been working my socks off making this show. Of course, the people in our offices who made the books and who designed the course, Richard Vaughn, Richard Brown, David Waddell, Carmen Vallejo, they worked their socks off preparing this course. So the least you can do is work your socks off to learn English and to take advantage of the material. So please, work your socks off as well. We're working our socks off. Now you have to make your own effort. You have to work hard. The more you work, the more you learn. It's true. It's not a pill. You can't just take a pill, unfortunately, and magically learn English. You have to work hard. And if you work your socks off, you'll learn a lot. I promise you will. So we have this structure to work your socks off, to work one's socks off. Recently I was talking about the use of the term one. When we're talking about someone in general, we can say one should be careful while crossing the road. One should be careful while crossing the road. But really, what this structure means, the use of one here means someone. It's just a non-specific way of referring to someone. One should be careful. Someone, people, everyone. One should be careful. One should be polite to their neighbors, for example. But really, with the use of one, in this sense, this is like, I sound like the Queen of England if I'm saying one should do this, one must do that. But normally, in more common day-to-day English, we say you. You should work hard. You should work hard, shouldn't you? Yes, everyone should. You should. So here I'm using you, second person, but I'm not referring to just you. Not only you, Pedro, or not only you, Maria, but everyone. So here it appears in this expression, to work your socks off, to work one's socks off. But that use of one, we don't really use in modern English. So to work your socks off, to work hard. Yeah, so that's the key to learning English. That's it, folks. If you're looking for one tip, the key to learning English, you have to make the effort. You have to work hard. If you work your socks off, you'll learn. It's that simple. It is. It's like the difference between hard and complicated. You know, learning English, it requires a lot of hard work. Maybe it's hard because it requires a lot of effort, but it's not complicated. You just have to work hard. It's like running. People have asked me before about the difference between hard and complicated. Well, running, for me to run 100 meters in 10 seconds is very, very, very hard for anyone to do it. It's hard because only the top few sprinters in the world can run 100 meters in 10 seconds. Like Usain Bolt, the Jamaican sprinter, he ran it in, I think, 9.59 seconds or something like that. So he can do it. But for me to run 100 meters in 10 seconds, I can't do it. It's too hard. But is it complicated? No, it's not complicated. An animal can run. It's not complicated. It's not complex. It's not complicated. But it's hard. It's very hard to do, very difficult, very challenging. So learning English, I don't think it's complicated. English grammar isn't very complicated, really. It's not as complicated as Spanish grammar. But it requires hard work. You have to work hard because it's, you have to be motivated, right? You have to work hard. You have to work your socks off if you want to really learn a lot, especially in a reasonable amount of time. You have to make the effort. But fortunately, this course gives you the tools. As long as you take advantage of those tools, you'll be fine, and you'll learn a lot. Now let's move on to take a look at expressions using as in the sense of yaque in Spanish. So, as it's so expensive, let's not buy it. So, we're not going to buy it as it's so expensive. It's a lot like saying because, simply. There are a lot of words which are really a glorified version of because. Now here we have since also. Since it's so expensive, I'm not going to buy it. Since I'm already here, maybe I'll record an episode of the Verb Circus today. Since I'm already here, well, I'm here. I might as well. Mas vale que I might as well work on that while I'm here, since I'm here. Seeing as I'm here, for example. Okay, so with a few examples here, it's late. I'm going home. So give me a structure with as. As it's late, I'm going home. There, we're putting as at the start. We can also put it in the middle. It's late. Well, I'm going home. So the consequence first, as it's late. I'm going home as it's so late. As it's late, I'm going home. It's more common to put it at the start, but we can put it in the middle. She's hungry. Let's go to a restaurant. As she's hungry, let's go to a restaurant. Really, it's like saying because. Since she's hungry, let's go to a restaurant. Seeing as she's hungry, let's go to a restaurant. Okay? It's broken. Buy a new one. So as it's broken, let's buy a new one. Seeing as it's broken, let's buy a new one. Because it's broken, let's buy a new one. So here we're talking about the structure in Spanish, yaque. Yaque. As it's broken, let's buy a new one. All right.
Expression of the day.
All right, it is time for the expression of the day. That's right. Our expression of the day today, as good as new. It's as good as new. If something is as good as new, well, this makes sense. It's logical. It's not new, but it works as if it were new. It's as good as new. It behaves as if it were new. So the other day I had a problem with my computer. I'm not a computer guy. I don't know much about computers. I'm not good with computers. When I have computer problems, I ask a specialist. Or I ask someone who knows more than I do, at least. So I asked my friend, I said, can you come over and take a look at this? And he did a few things. He changed a few things in my settings, and my computer worked a lot faster. And he said, there you go. Good as new. It's as good as new. I said, oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. So he fixed it, and then ever since he fixed it, it has been operating much better. In fact, good as new. It's operating just as well as when I bought it. So, good as new. We often say that very often it's not quite as good as when it was new, but we say this as an expression, good as new. It's as good as new. It's as if the product is new. All right, now we can move on to talk about a phrasal verb. Everybody likes phrasal verbs, right? Here we are in class number 166, and we have a phrasal verb, which is the phrasal verb to make out. To make out, which is something distinguir, divisar, atisbar, entender. So it can mean to understand something. So, for example, let's do a little test here. I'm being entirely honest. I'm sitting in this studio here, and I'm looking through the glass at my technician, Manu, and I don't know if he can hear me or not. But if I ask him if he can make out what I'm saying, I don't know. We'll see if he's listening. Hey, Manu, can you make out what I'm saying? No, he can't. He can't make out what I'm saying because he doesn't have the volume turned up. Manu. No, he can't. He can't make out what I'm saying because he can't hear me. He can't make out what I'm saying. Now, if he were looking at me and he could read lips, then he could make out what I was saying. Or if he turned up the volume on his speakers in the studio, in the control booth, he's sitting in the control booth. I'm in the studio. He's in the booth. If he turned up the speakers in the booth, he would be able to make out what I'm saying. I've had Nacho participate, our other technician participate a lot on the show, but Manu, who is a bit newer here, he hasn't spoken. I offered to have him on as a guest, and he said, no. In other words, of course, but he said, no, I don't want to go speak on the radio, but someday I'll try to get him on, because I'm sure he can make out what I'm saying very well. So to make out, to distinguish, to decipher, right? I can't make out doctors' handwriting. Can you make out doctors' handwriting? They have terrible handwriting. It's universal. It's international that doctors have terrible handwriting. I can't make out what they're saying. I can't make out what doctors are saying. Now, I'm sorry, what they're saying in writing, what they write. I can't make it out. I can't make out what they write. Can you make out what I'm saying if I speak in a strange accent? If I talk like this, can you make out what I'm saying? If I talk like this for about 10 minutes, can y'all make out what I'm saying? Now, I was speaking with a southern accent. Well, my attempt at a southern accent. But I don't know if they can make out, if you can distinguish what I'm saying, if you can interpret and understand what I'm saying. Can you make out the difference between a Canadian and a U.S. or American accent? Can you make out the difference? A lot of people can't. But the best way to make out the difference, to tell the difference, to distinguish, is the O-U-T, out. I say out, and Americans would say out, about, and I say out and about. Yes, to make out. Can you make out the difference between Mozart and Beethoven? Can you make out the difference between Mozart and Beethoven? I can't. I can't make out the difference. Okay. Now we have, I can see Manu again in the studio. Manu, can you make out what I'm saying? No, he can't make out what I'm saying. He can't. No problem. He can't. He can't make out what I'm saying. But he just signaled through the glass, and he said no. He had no idea that I was what I was saying. But can you make out tiny writing? Very small writing. Can you make it out? No, I can't make out. So we almost always use it in the negative. We say I can't make it out. We don't normally say I can make it out. We use this structure almost always in the negative. All right, let's move on now and take a look at our vocabulary of the day.
Vocabulary of the day.
All right, it is time for the vocabulary of the day. Our 5 words of vocabulary. First word today, finico. Finico. Excuse me, I just took a sip of water. Clear my throat. Finico. Cynical. Cynical. We say, la humanidad. With my nice madrileño, humanidad. Humanidad. Mankind. Mankind, we say. Sonrojarse. So my face gets a bit red because I'm blushing. This is the verb to blush. B-L-U-S-H. Calvo. Calvo. This is a problem that I'm a little bit worried about. Going. Calvo. Bald. Bald. Cuenta de ahorro. Cuenta de ahorro. We say a savings account. Savings account. Yeah. All right. So there you go. Our 5 words of vocabulary. Very quickly, we're running out of time. But I want to talk about bastante. Bastante. 2 different uses here. Bastante in the sense of enough, en el sentido de suficiente, suficiente. So we have enough time. We have just enough time. We do. We have enough time to finish the class. I hope you have enough time. I hope I have enough money to buy the tickets. Yes, we had enough money to buy the tickets. Then we also have enough in the sense of quite a bit of, quite a lot of, una cantidad considerable de, like a considerable amount of. So, do we have enough time? Yeah, we have quite a bit of time. Quite a bit of. We have quite a bit of time. Or I'm quite hungry. Yeah, I'm quite hungry. Yeah, You could say bastante, but yeah, I'm quite hungry right now. I could eat a lot because I'm quite hungry. Ask me if I'm quite hungry. Hey Kyle, are you quite hungry or just a little hungry? Yeah, I'm quite hungry right now. I could eat a horse, we say, because I'm quite hungry. Ask me if my brother has a lot of free time. Hey Kyle, does your brother have a lot of free time? Well, we should use quite. Does he have quite a lot? Yeah, he has quite. Well, right now I think he has quite a lot of free time, but usually he doesn't have much free time because he's quite busy. Yeah. So I think right now, temporarily, he has quite a bit of free time, but usually he doesn't. So I think we are running out of time. I thought we had quite a lot of time, but we have enough time to finish, but we don't have quite a lot of time. So I will finish the class now, and I will remind you to make sure you're taking advantage of all the materials, studying along. If you have the books at home, be sure to follow the content in your books. Watch the classes on television, and you can catch the radio version of the program right here every day. Be sure to take advantage of it. Study hard. Work hard, because remember, if you work your socks off, you'll learn a lot. The more you work, the more you'll learn. See you next time. Bye-bye.